because it kind of just makes you look like, first of all, you're hydrated. I'm never hydrated. I'm literally always drinking coffee. I have like an IV in my arm of caffeine, and I haven't seen water in weeks. Hi you guys, welcome back to the Clean Beauty Code. I'm so excited for this video because we're doing a brand review. We're doing a brand review that you guys have been asking me about for a while. We're talking about Range Beauty and I'm so freaking excited. I have all the products in front of me here and I got a lot to say. I've been trying and testing them out and I definitely have some opinions and I can't wait to share them with you. I would love to know down below before we get into the video. Have you tried Range Beauty? Have you been curious about the brand? If you have, please let me know what you think about their products and all of that. Let me know your thoughts. I'm like so intrigued because I feel like people are really interested in this brand, but I don't feel like that many people have tried it, but we're getting into it. We're getting into the nitty gritty and I'm really excited. So if you're excited for this video and more videos like this, then please like and subscribe. And without further ado, let's get into this Range Beauty review. All right, you guys, let's get into it. I'm very excited. So Range Beauty, I have all the products in front of me here and I'm excited to get into it. So first things first, you know what, let's do the foundation first. So this is their True Intentions Hydrating Foundation. Now this, I would say, can be light to medium, maybe skewing a little bit more medium. The shade I have in this is the shade Soul, I will say, you guys. So I order most of my makeup online and in general, I am pretty good at getting my foundation matched. Like I just did a review of a brand that will be going up before or after this, Exa Beauty, where I got basically a perfect foundation shade match. And in general, I'm pretty good at picking shades for myself. I found it really hard to pick a shade, and I just want to say that off the bat. Definitely hard to just navigate on their website, but the shade I got in this is Soul. And it is definitely dark for me right now. This will be a good shade for me. Like when it sits on my face, it kind of oxidizes. At least I found it oxidizes. So when I first apply it, it looks like it matches really well. But then after a little bit of time, and it's not really immediate, I feel like it looks too dark. So this is like a good summer color for me, I would say, because the shade is actually really nice. It's just not a perfect match. So that's just something to note. But here it looks like a really good shade. So I find this to be more of a, is this described as a serum foundation or no? I feel like this is more of a serum foundation consistency, but a little bit thicker. If I had to compare the consistency to a foundation, I would compare it to, perfect, I have it right next to me here, the LYS Beauty foundation in terms of consistency, because the LYS Beauty one is a little bit thicker than other serum foundations I have, like the Ilia serum foundation or the Exa Beauty serum foundation. Those ones are a little bit more on the thin side. These aren't thick, as you can see. Like this is still a thin consistency. I do really like the texture. I mean, I feel like it's even getting darker right now, as you can see. Like, look at that. It's weird. I mean, stuff oxidizes, it happens. You just have to kind of be, so that's why you could test it, like you try a little bit on your face in the store and then you walk around and then you see kind of after like 20 minutes how it wears. But this is a really, really nice consistency. I feel like, so this is kind of meant to be something that can be worn if you have like eczema, dryness. This definitely, I feel like, is a good one for if you have a little bit more mature skin, just because of the consistency and how hydrating it is, but it doesn't really settle into fine lines, like any lines here, any lines that you have here where you can get creasing. I don't find that it settles, which is really, really nice. And I also don't find in any way that this clings to dry patches, and I love that. I also don't find, again, it's comparable to the LYS Beauty one that I also feel like doesn't cling to dry patches and wears really similarly, has like a nice, really pretty finish, but it isn't unbelievably dewy, if that makes sense. I would say maybe it's a little bit more on the satin side, but either way, I don't feel like I'm really greasy by the end of the day. I don't feel like it wears off badly. I actually really enjoy this foundation and I was very impressed. The only kind of gripe I have with this is like the shade how to pick your shades, I feel like is really hard. Next, let's move on to their primer. So this is their primer. This is called their True Intentions Bronzing Primer. Now, I know that you're looking at this and being like, girl, where are you getting bronzed up? Because it's basically a very close match in tone, like medium tone to my foundation. This is the foundation. And it is very similar. It doesn't do much bronzing for me. If I had a lighter complexion, it might. Guys, that there's only one priming bronze or bronzing primer that's supposed to be like give you a bronzy glow, because I feel like it's light. I mean, it's light for me, and I'm definitely not dark. So this is the primer, you can see, and I'm just going to kind of blend it out. I do kind of feel like it gives me, if you like glass-like looking skin, if you like something that really gives you a really healthy glow to the face, this is really nice. I like to wear it alone, and I also like to wear it with foundation if I definitely feel like I need, like, I've had too much wine the night before, or your girl just hasn't slept. Like, I literally slept what feels like about 4 hours last night, and I'm not even kidding. This is a really good primer for occasions like that, because it kind of just makes you look like, first of all, you're hydrated. I'm never hydrated. I'm literally always drinking coffee. I have like an IV in my arm of caffeine, and I haven't seen water in weeks. Like, I'm never hydrated. I never feel plumped up or dewy, and I feel like when I'm wearing this kind of smooths over my fine lines if I have them, and they're more exaggerated. And it kind of like plumps my skin up, and it makes my skin look like I've been drinking water. This is really, really good. Now, in terms of if it extends the wear of my foundation, I don't really feel like it extends the wear of my foundation, but I don't really think that that is kind of the purpose of this. This is to kind of give you a really good base to your, like, before you apply foundation, after you've applied kind of your skincare. And I feel like this is a very skincare forward line. Like, I feel like this feels like there's skincare in this. I mean, again, I described it as a serum style foundation, and anytime it's a serum style foundation, it kind of gives me more skincare vibes, which is really good, because I want all the hydration. I want to look young forever, you guys. And this kind of does the same thing. It gives me a really, really nice look to the skin alone or with product on top. It wears really nicely. It doesn't make my foundation last less amount of time, if that makes sense. Like, it doesn't speed up the wear off process or anything like that. The consistency isn't super thin. It kind of is more of that like serum style, but a little bit thicker. And it's really nice. So you can see, so I've applied it to my skin, and it just kind of sinks right in once you apply it. So it doesn't create slip. And that's what I was worried about with this. First, like, when I first got it and I tried it on my hand, I was like, okay, we're gonna be slipping and sliding all over the dang place. Foundation's gonna be all over the place. But not with this one. I was very, very impressed. Okay, next. What should we do next? You know what? Let's do the powder next. So this is their translucent powder, and the shade I have in this is medium. I believe that there's like 4 or 5 shades of powder. And I will say, in terms of the shade, I was hoping to find something that was similar to like Laura Mercier. They have like multiple shade options, and this gives me that vibe. It might not be an exact match for the Laura Mercier, like the more yellow one, for like my skin tone, but it is really, really similar. Now, I didn't think I was gonna like this. I don't always love loose powder. Sometimes I do, but sometimes I'm like, okay, like, it's a lot of powder. I feel like it just kind of sits on the skin a lot of the time. But this one doesn't. It melts into the skin. It's more of a mattifying one. But what I do really like to wear this for is, like, I like to set my under eyes if I need it. Sometimes I can't set my under eyes with powder unless it's like the Kosas powder, because my under eyes get dry but my lids are not dry. So I like to set my lid with this powder, and I feel like my eyeshadows have been wearing longer without primer underneath it. So no eye primer, just putting like a little bit of powder on my lid. My eyeliners have been wearing longer, my eyeshadows been wearing longer, and I just feel like, also because I'm powdering my lid with mascaras where I have running, which does happen, especially in the corners here, I haven't had as much running or fall down because my lids are oily and I haven't had any issue really with a ton of running here, which is really great because if you have that issue where your under eyes or your lids are really more on the oily side, you are just going to naturally have foundation fall down, especially from the base of your lashes. And depending on how good you clean off your mascara wand, which is like scraping the excess product off and then applying it, you could have a good collection of mascara under here and on your lash, like on the tips of your lashes, that could fall down and kind of create a more raccoony look to the face, which no one wants that. No one wants to look like a raccoon. So this is really good. It sets the face really nicely. I feel like it doesn't, although it's more on the, it's a more matte, I feel like it doesn't cling, which is really, really nice. It doesn't sit on top of the skin. It kind of just melts in. And because of the shade options, you don't have that like almost, it's translucent but not, why do you kind of look like Casper the Friendly Ghost, but like, are you okay? Are you sick because you look pale because this is a little bit too light for you kind of vibe? You know what I mean? Like you kind of have a really nice shade range. So what I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna swatch this on the back of my hand for you. So this has a little bit of a, this contraption, this component reminds me a lot of the Honest Beauty powder. So if you've tried that powder, you are going to probably know what this is. It has like a little bouncy, trying to not get powder everywhere. This is about to fall everywhere if you can see. And this is, so this is the shade medium. And although this looks light on me, this isn't very light. This is like a good one for me. And let me just swatch it so you can kind of see. Do you see? And then if I blend it out, get all that powder off my hand. I'm gonna end up looking crazy. It kind of blends out really nicely. Do you see? So it doesn't have like, although it's not like a perfect like my shade, but it's translucent and it kind of just settles up, and once you kind of blend it in, set your face, you are good to go. Holds your makeup in place really well, mattifies where you need, and I find in the areas like specifically here where like maybe your pores can be a little bit bigger, I don't find it like settles in them. It kind of just goes over them. But I feel like that's what this whole line is about, is kind of going over those like more textured dry areas, or you know, where, and kind of smoothing over them. This is really good. I really enjoy this, and I'm definitely going to put this on my everyday use vanity, because this, for how my like my eyeliner and everything has been wearing, is crazy. It's crazy good. Okay, next we have this. So this is their dual eye and highlighter kind of product. I got the shade, what shade is this? Sunkissed. So this isn't really a highlighter on me because it's definitely, let me show you. Look how pretty. Can you see? I hope it's like capturing how pretty it is. It's just so good. It's so pretty. Oh, I'm obsessed. This is definitely on the dark side for me for a highlight, just for an everyday highlight, but it's also really, well, right now, I mean, it'll end up being a good shade for me eventually, but oh my God, look. I mean, I'm gagged. I'm screaming. I'm having a heart attack. Look how pretty that is. Just look at that shimmer. It's just so good. It's just so good. So this, I'm gonna just kind of blend out so you can kind of see how it blends out. So this, if you wear it as a highlight, you definitely can do that. And you know what I like about this? See, okay, do you see how it blended out? It's not so intense that you look like a weird disco ball. So I'm gonna swatch it next to what I just blended out so you can kind of see. So this is it right here. This is it blended out. And then this, no, this is it just like applied straight, not blended out. It is so pretty because you kind of have like a bunch of options with it because it just is so nice. This is like such a pretty shimmer. It's not too glittery, but if you want shimmer, if you want to pack a punch, you definitely can. This shade is so pretty. And if you have blue eyes, run, 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 run. You need this shade if you have blue eyes. Like, it's so good. It's so good. It's gonna make your blue eyes just pop like crazy because it's like that perfect copper sunset, like just beautiful shade. And it is just such a nice product because although it's loose in this, it doesn't have like crazy fallout, and when I apply it to my lid, it stays put, it doesn't move. And I don't necessarily need to use a primer with this, but because it is a loose powder like kind of thing, I like a primer. And I have worn it as highlighter on my cheeks to just test it out, although it's not like a perfect highlighter match for me. And it wears really nicely, and it wears really nicely with the primer. It wears really nicely with other primers. It wears nicely on a face that just has primer on it and doesn't have foundation. Like, it's really, really nice. I like it a lot. I'm actually really impressed with Range Beauty. I would love to know down below what your thoughts are. Have you tried them out? Did you find that picking a foundation shade was kind of tough, or was it just me? It could have just been me because I just feel like it wasn't organized, and like there were no examples of what people look like that like suit the foundation. And I feel like that's been a miss lately. There was some other brand I was trying to find a foundation match, and there were no comparable people I could say, yeah, okay, this person this will be me, or like their undertone or something matches me. Like, I was having such a hard time, and I don't understand why brands do not add the face of the people that can wear it, because it makes it so much harder, especially if you are mostly accessible online. Like, make this easier for me. Make it easier for me to give you my money, okay? And be happy with the shade choice I did. But I really, really like these products. And I feel like the foundation, although I do feel like it oxidizes on me, and I don't know if anyone else has experienced that. I mean, foundations oxidize, it happens, but I was just surprised because I wore it one day and it looked totally fine. And then I looked in the mirror, like, I was sitting at my laptop working all day, so I wasn't getting up and going to the bathroom because I don't drink water. It's in and of itself a problem, but I wasn't going up and getting to the bathroom a lot, so I didn't notice. But then by the time, like maybe like 4 hours later, I went into the bathroom, and I went to the bathroom, and then I went to wash my hands, and I looked in the mirror, and I was like, oh my Lanta, why am I so tan? Like, I looked a little bit crazy. I looked a little bit like a Looney Tune, like fully crazy, because it was just so much darker than I remember it being later. And I had experienced that a few times, and I was like, okay, it can't just be me, or maybe when I first apply it in the morning, I'm just not paying attention. But I would love to know, do you find that this oxidizes a little bit on you? Besides that, I really like it. I mean, this is definitely like, Soul is definitely going to be my summer shade. It's definitely, when I looked at myself, I was like, oh, this will be great in the summertime for me. Once I'm in the sun a little bit, I'm going to like tan up real nice, and it's gonna look good on me. Really like the primer. I feel like my hero product of the day though is definitely the powder, which I'm surprised by. I didn't think that this was going to be, in general, I always like foundations as my standout product, or the primer at least, but I never really go powder. But this powder is really good because it smooths out over lines. It goes over hyperpigmentation marks, it goes over eczema marks. It kind of smooths out the pore area if you have big pores. It's really, really good. It almost adds like a filter to the face. And yeah, that's it for my Range Beauty review. I would love to know your thoughts. I would love to know, are you obsessed with this? Tell me. Are you obsessed with it like I am? Are you obsessed? Are you obsessed? Because I'm obsessing. So, so good. And yeah, that's it for this Range Beauty review. Thank you so much for watching. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, and leave me a comment down below, and I will see you in the next one. Bye, guys.